Hello everybody, this is Lara with your daily analysis for Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP. Really quickly before I get into it, have you seen what Euro's doing? It's having a really remarkably awesome upwards day, and this was our hourly chart that I gave members. I've blurred out, well, I've removed the targets and blurred out the count, but you can see that we were very obviously expecting this upward movement at multiple degrees. Our targets still haven't been hit, and this was the channel that I said as soon as we see a full candlestick above and not touching it, have confidence in our Elliott Wave analysis that expects Euro to keep going up, and that's exactly what it's doing. So if you're trading Euro, maybe you should be using our analysis. It'll pay for itself within, well, if you'd had it yesterday, it would have paid for itself already. Okay, let's get into Bitcoin. It's having a pullback. So the pullback to relieve extreme conditions looks like it's here. So the question now is going to be, how low is this going to go? Where's it going to stop? It's finding support today about 35,000. If support about 35,000 is broken by a close below that level, there's a little bit of area for it to free fall. Next support below 31,000. So now I'm going to be expecting a short-term pullback, which could be quite sharp and deep to maybe last a couple of weeks, and I will be looking for a bullish candlestick reversal pattern or some bullish divergence or some oversold conditions, any one or more of those things, before I expect this pullback for Bitcoin is over. There is some push from volume today, pushing price lower. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon as I record this, so there's still a few hours to go, but already volume today is stronger than the previous 3 red candlesticks. ADX has reached very extreme, as I said before. It's in danger territory, and now I'm expecting the pullback has arrived. RSI reached deeply overbought and exhibits bearish divergence. It's only single, and I said it could develop further into double before the pullback arrives, but I expect today the pullback has arrived. And also money flow reached overbought and exhibited bearish divergence, so it's unsurprising we're getting a pullback. Slight little increase in ATR as price starts to move lower. That may show a further increase, and then it could decline right at the end. This is my Elliott Wave count for Ethereum at the daily chart level. I'm actually going to make an executive decision and get rid of this. I'm going to put this up here and expect now that the pullback for Ethereum has arrived. Let's see how low I think this may go. Let's pull in a Fibonacci ratio, and a logarithmic function has been applied to this because this is on a log scale or a semi-log scale. I'll look initially for support about 1876.56, the log function of the 0.382 ratio. If price gets down to that level and just keeps on falling, then attention turns to the log function of the 0.618 ratio at 1732.24. Let's put some labels in here for minute wave 2. Now I know that this low probably came after this high, but I think we've probably got a little third and a fourth wave in here. Just for ease of labeling on this chart, I'm just going to leave those labels there, just so you know. I'm aware that that's actually not accurate, but I can't make it perfect on this time frame. Looks like minute 2 is probably unfolding as a little zigzag. Let's calculate where C will reach equality in length with A. It's already past that, so let's calculate the next possible target where C would reach 1.618 the length of A. That's pretty close. That's at 1921. So I think that might not be low enough. I think that minute wave 2 is probably going to be lower than that. So let's just use these ratios, the 0.382 and 0.618, log functions of them, that is. Yesterday completed a shooting star bearish candlestick reversal pattern. It's not at the high, but it's pretty close, so I'll take that into account. And now price is moving well below what was support at 2020. Now I expect that to provide resistance. Look out for next support at 1880. Below that at 1800. There's pretty strong support below that. And if it gets down to 1716, I would expect that could be quite likely where this pullback for Ethereum may end. Cannot make a conclusion about volume today, but if it is stronger than the previous session, then that would be bearish, but this actually could be bearish. That had such a strong bearish upper wick for yesterday's session. We'd have to look inside the session at hourly volume bars. I'll leave you to do that yourselves. I'm not going to do that. It's just not that important to me right now. But if you look inside yesterday's session at the hourly volume bars, which are strongest, upward or down, and that's how you'd read that volume profile. But for now, I want to see how today, Tuesday, closes, and then I'll make a conclusion in tomorrow's video about today's volume. RSI is still overbought, it reached deeply overbought, so it's unsurprising that we're getting a pullback. I was looking for it and I think it's here now. ADX is still very extreme. This pullback needs to relieve extreme conditions, so I expect it's going to last at least a couple of weeks. XRP, I'm going to update my Elliott Wave count with you. I'm not going to label this as a double. I'm going to label this now as an expanded flat. So let's do that. B is a 114.5% length of A, so the minimum requirement for an expanded flat is B should be 105% or longer, and a common range is up to 138, so it's beautifully still within that common range. So this is an expanded flat. That's the most common type of flat. So the most common ratio between A and C for an expanded flat is where C reaches 1.618 the length of A. Let's calculate that. That target would be 0.5824. Okay, so that would be my preferred target for the first instance for XRP. If price reaches 0.5824 and either the structure is incomplete or it just keeps on falling down, then attention turns to the next lower target, 0.5388, where minor 2 would reach the log function of the 0.618 Fibonacci ratio of minor wave 1. So that's my new wave count for XRP. There's my targets. I'm expecting overall this is going to keep going lower for at least a few more days, if not a week or two. So it could turn out to be a more time-consuming double combination or double flat rather than just a single expanded flat. It might need a little bit more time to relieve these extreme conditions. Yesterday I was looking at a potential pennant, but I said I wanted to be a little bit flexible. I'm going to be so flexible today as to remove it. I'm not going to relabel it a flag, and I'll show you why. You would have the upper edge of the flag pattern like that and the lower edge like this. They're just not really parallel. I mean, no, the lines just aren't parallel. It just doesn't look like a very good flag at all. So we didn't get the clean downward breakout. We got this bearish upper wick as price whipsawed yesterday, and now it's moving lower. So let's get rid of that target calculated from the pennant. So we've got a shooting star. It's not quite a shooting star. There's a bit too much of a lower wick for this to be a shooting star. But yesterday's candlestick did produce a very bearish upper wick. Price is now moving below what was support at 62. So support now becomes resistance. Look out for next. Pretty strong support, about 54 to 55 cents for XRP. And I think this is probably where this pullback is going to come and test and find final support. I expect that might be where it ends. Now, I cannot say that yesterday's session was pushing price higher. Even though the candlestick is green, that upper wick is so bearish. So just like Ethereum, my advice would be to look inside the session at the hourly volume bars. Which are stronger, up or down? And there you have your answer. Is this increase in volume yesterday bullish or bearish? I'm not going to do that today because I'm still pretty confident that the pullback's going to continue, and I'm going to wait to see what today's session tells us with downward volume. ADX still indicates a very extreme upward trend, pretty close to danger territory for XRP, so it's unsurprising we're getting a pullback. I was looking out for it, and now I expect it's arrived. RSI reached deeply overbought for XRP. It's back in neutral territory, so this pullback may still be required to continue lower to relieve extreme conditions, particularly ADX, and pull RSI further down into neutral territory. Money flows back in neutral territory. It'll be great to see the pullback pull it back below the halfway mark. That's it from me with your quick update today. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you always for all of your engagement and support. I really appreciate it, and I'm having so much fun providing this analysis for you every day.